All right, guys, welcome to Doozer Shop. Today I want to point out some features on this mill. I'm going to sell this mill. I've had it, I think, for 4 years, and I just don't use it enough. I'm kind of a manual machine guy. Yes, you can use the CNC mill as a manual machine, but you know, it's taking up too much space. So let me just tell you about it. It's a Milltronics partner VK3, okay? And it's got a Centurion 6 control, okay? Centurion 6. I think this mill is a mid-2000, 2000 something model, I'm not sure. I've got programming manual right here, and I've also got the owner's manual and the parts manual. I've got the discs to reload the operating system, you know, whatever. But so it's kind of neat. It's got 3 Z's. It's got the Z on the knee, so you can, it's like a Bridgeport. The knee goes up and down. Of course, the quill, and then this whole head goes up and down. Let me show you. I'm putting jog wheel mode. Z. Okay, I'm moving the jog wheel, and the whole head goes up and down on the ramp. It's kind of neat. It really is. That's all the way up. So the head goes up and down on the ram. So there's 3 Z's, and I like to do, you know, do an air cut above the part, and then I'll, you know, put the quill down and lock it and do the actual cutting. To do a trial run, you know what I mean? See, y-axis. This is the table moving in and out, in and out. Pretty cool. And then let's see, X is your normal table this way. So that's kind of cool. And you can also go exit, you can go to not hand wheel but jog, and then I think it's, what is it, this way? You jog it, diagonal, this way, that way. You know, it jogs all around. Okay. I'm going to go back to the hand wheel. Alright, and then you've got your head, the variable speed. Stop, whatever. So you got the head. It's got a Milltronics digital quill for the up-down. And of course your, you know, location DRO display in the corner. The table's clean, the ways are clean. I mean, everything's been protected. Mostly cut brass in its former life, so I guess that's a little bit easier on things. Should a chip get in the wrong place. It's set up for coolant. I put a new power drawbar impact wrench on it. It's a Florida pneumatic wrench, but I got a new wrench, and then I took the old one apart, and it was a leaking gasket inside. So I mean, but it's a new one. It's got the Doozer automatic lubrication pump, and it'll alarm out if it gets too low, and then you got to put oil in it and reset it and all that stuff. So it's got the full pressure lube. This is a square way machine underneath all the covers. If I were to say, compared to a Bridgeport, it's like a Series 2 Bridgeport. It's like the second bigger series Bridgeport with the square ways, and it's tall. I mean, this thing is, I mean, I'm 6 foot, and this thing is a beast. It really is. So this is a variable speed head, but it's like locked in mid-range, and it uses the VFD, you know, in the feed override knob. I can pull a program up, I can run, it zigs around, zags around, you know, does that. So everything works on it. One cool thing is this was running on 230 volts, 3-phase. Sorry, it'll run 3-phase or single phase. Right now, it's running single phase. It'll run either one. If I start my phase converter, it'll still run, it'll just be 3-phase, but so maybe you're a home shop guy and you only got single phase, 220 in your shop, it's running on single phase right now. I mean, it works. I think it's got a Yaskawa inverter inside and whatever. Like I said, set up for coolant. It's got a real clean control cabinet. It's not been rewired and monkeyed halfway to whatever. I think if you turn this off, let's see, hit that. Yep, the servos turn off, and you can do it's like really easy. You don't fight the resistance from the motor, you know, with the, I mean, it's like butter, you know. So you can run it in manual mode. What I noticed about this machine, if you ever wanted to strip this and run it without the computer, which I thought about, but I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to sell it. 'Cause I got a Bridgeport, I got a Gordon vertical, forget about that. It's got the holes in the front of the table and the side of the saddle for the Y. You can put lock bolts, lock screws in it, lock handles. You can put lock handles on it. You don't need lock handles. You just turn the servo on and then it's rigid with the motors, magnetically, whatever. But like I said, I thought about keeping it and just using it as a manual machine, and just that's what I'm trying to say. If the computer ever died, I could convert it to a manual mill and still have table locks. I said all that to say that. So anyways, but you know, everything works on it. Oh, the keyboard plugs in. It's the old round style, but the keyboard plugs in, the keyboard works. This keyboard's full of junk. It's just full of gunge in between the keys. Probably need a keyboard. They're cheap. I just haven't got one. Oh, R8 collets, right? Regular Bridgeport R8 collets. So that's awesome. You know, some guys wish this was a 40. Well, it is what it is. It's a power draw bar. It's a cool machine. I need the space. It's taking this whole corner of the shop. I want to move this out. I think I got my little held grinder for sale on Practical Machinist. I want to move it out. I want to work on projects in here. I want to move the welding table in here and the fabricating stuff, the bandsaw, you know, both my bandsaws, and do some, like, I can't work on anything. Like, if a customer said, I got a backhoe and I want you to replace the cylinders and bore the bucket, you know, I can't pull anything in here with all this stuff in here. So I'm not a CNC guy. I got rotary tables in case I want to do, you know, curvy loop corners and everything. It's cool. I've used the pocket function where you can, you know, mill a square or a rectangle and, you know, down. I haven't done it, but my buddy has used this to do rigid tapping, so it's got an encoder on the Z, so it will tap with a end mill, you know, threading end mill, but not too much to set, and it's got, you can't see it, but I'll show you. You know, it's got the coolant base, you know, on the bottom. It's pretty nice. You know, I roll it in here on a pallet jack. That's why I got it set up. But there's the control cabinet and the RAM and the everything. You know, it's kind of neat. But so I've had it plugged in like I said, the single phase 230. And this thing's been running. I never shut it off. I never, ever shut this off. You know, I want to keep, they say it's better to keep the memory chips alive, and this thing's always been running 24/7, the place I got it from, and they advised me, the maintenance department said, man, just there's less problems when you keep them running. So that I've had it plugged in and running for the last 4 years that I've owned it. So anyways, I got a price in mind. I don't know if I want to say it on video. I want to sell it for a reasonable price. I don't want to sell it cheaper than a normal operating manual machine, Bridgeport type machine. You know, I don't want to sell it less than that. But, you know, you're not going to go wrong with this thing. It's a solid mill. I've enjoyed the little bit that I've had it. I'm just not going to use it. So someone that wants to get into CNC, 3-axis CNC, it's pretty cool. All right, just wanted to show the video, make a video to show and highlight the, you know, some of the features and how it works and what it is. So if you want, hit me up. Yeah, make me an offer I can't understand. So thanks for watching. This is Doozer Shop.